I hereby call to order the meeting of the Erie County Capital Project Committee for the 2026 budget year, July 31st, 2025. The roll call determine we have quorum. Myself, I am here. Budget Director Mark Cornell here. Controller Kevin Hardwick here. Chair Tim Myers here. Majority Leader John Gilmore. On vacation. Good for him. Finance and Management Chair Mike Kachulian. Minority Leader John Mills here. Deputy County Executive Lisa Shamera here. Commissioner Bill Geary. Present. Commissioner Dan Castle here. Commissioner Troy Schinzel here. County Attorney Jim Tone. I count 8. We have a quorum. Actually, we have 9. That's good. The first item up on the agenda is the review of the minutes of the last meeting, which was held last week, July 24th, 2025. A copy of the minutes are included in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Motion to approve. We have a motion from Budget Director Cornell. We have a second from the chairperson, Mr. Myers. Any further comments? Any amendments proposed? Hearing none, all in favor signify by stating aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Okay, we're going to move on to the presentations for today. We have a number of presentations. We want to take them a little out of order. So I'm going to first go with our friends in the library. If the library can make their presentations. We have 2 proposed projects from the library.
Good afternoon. My name is Amanda Dargan. I'm the interim director of Buffalo Erie County Public Library, and I have with me Angela Marinucci, who's the chief operating officer. Get started. On behalf of the Buffalo Erie County Public Library, I would like to thank Erie County for funding capital projects for the Central Library throughout the years. Can everybody hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay. In 2025, the library received $3.5 million for the Green Roof project. The Green Roof is projected to be bid out on the October or November of this year. The library also received $1 million for Central Library building envelope improvements. This includes removing and replacing the fogged caulking throughout the exterior of the building envelope, which may contain hazardous material. Additional work will include, but is not limited to, miscellaneous interior renovations, hazardous materials abatement, security and life safety additions, general building upgrades and repairs, and miscellaneous site improvements. This project is essential to maintain a safe environment for the library's patrons and staff. The library will be submitting a grant request this fall through the New York State Construction Aid to secure the other funds that's needed to complete this project. We appreciate the Department of Public Works submitting the Central Library various improvement upgrades for $4 million for 2006. This request includes, but is not limited to, replacement of the Central Library chillers, contingent funds for the ongoing Green Roof project, replacement of the existing HVAC system in the rear book room, and miscellaneous interior, exterior renovations, hazardous materials, abatement, general building upgrades and repairs, and miscellaneous site improvements. The following is the anticipated use of the funding. $3 million for the chillers replacement. The Central Library's 2 chiller units have met the end of their usable life, with 1 compressor currently inoperable. This will include the replacement of the 2 25-year-old, 250-ton chillers and their associated cooling towers. During the course of this project, the library will look to explore the addition of heat recovery units to leverage the library's hot deck, cold deck mixing boxes, aiming to improve temperature for humidity control. $500,000 for contingency for our Green Roof project. Due to unknown effects of tariffs, securing this funding will help offset the anticipated tariffs on materials for this project. And then lastly, $500,000 for the new HVAC in our rear book room. This project will also utilize the remaining funds in account F.24001, which the library obtained in our 2024 capital budget for various improvement and upgrades. The rear book room at the library currently houses materials with an access value of over $34 million. The library received a quote from Danforth Company in July of 2024, which they anticipated the project to cost $900,000. This amount is without contingencies and potential increase in tariffs. Between the library's collection of manuscripts, books, artifacts, oil portraits, and paintings, and much more, it is important that the air quality in this room meets the standards for long-lasting protection. Securing the funding would allow the library to install the appropriate system for the collection secured in this room, similar to what museums have. Without the replacement of this system, the library risks the exposure of airborne toxins and pollutants that can damage and ruin our valuable rare book collection. In addition, the library would like to request $160,000 in 2026 for shipping and maintenance vehicle replacements. This request is part of a continuing process to replace vehicles that have reached the end of their life. The library currently has 4 vehicles used by our shipping and receiving department to deliver library materials to our 37 libraries throughout Erie County. We also have 5 vehicles that are used by our maintenance department for snow plowing and salting at the Central Library and the 8 Buffalo libraries. The library shipping and receiving department currently has a 2015 vehicle that is experiencing mechanical issues on a recurrent basis while in use during their deliveries. And one of the other vehicles used by our maintenance department is showing signs of wear and tear. New York State Construction Aid does not provide funding for vehicles, so these capital funds would be used to replace the vehicles. I want to thank the Erie County Capital Projects Committee for your consideration. If you have any questions, we're able to answer.
Thank you, Director Gardner. I do have a question in regards to the first one, the $4 million. I believe the original, you said that this was for the chiller replacement, $500,000 green roof, and then the HVAC for the rear book room. What happened to the exterior marble panel stabilization? Is that still part of this project?
That's a separate project for the building envelope. We're going to be leveraging that with the New York State Construction Aid. We received $1 million in capital funding last year. We're going to request the rest from New York State Construction Aid for next year project to go on in the summer for the building.
Do you anticipate receiving the funds
We
to
do.
get that done in summer? Because I think, as has been described to me, and I know our Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Saki's here, that was a very big concern with regards to the marble deterioration on the exterior of the building.
Yes, we do anticipate the funds. So Construction Aid gives us an allotment that we can divide among our system libraries. We reserve that amount to go in for this year. As far as we know, for the 2025-26 fiscal budget for New York State, we do still have that allotment. If anything were to change, if they call back into session at the state legislature, there would be a change there, but that's when we would utilize other contingencies and at the worst opportunity fund balance to make sure that those updates to the envelope continue.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just provided the confirmation support letter that
go into the
about a
construction.
week ago.
You did.
So
Thank you
that'll
very
be part
much.
of that.
And then in the proposal, of course, it's a 5-year phase. There's always funds that are necessary for the central library. With $3 million in 27 and 1.5 and 3, and then $4 million in phase 4 and 29. Are those all totally separate projects and do not, anything that you discussed now will not require additional funding in future years to complete? You know that for certain?
Let me answer that.
As of right now, based on the estimates that we have, the last estimate we received for the rear book room was in 2024. As you know, there have been major changes in construction estimates since then. Our other estimates are in 2025. So based on where we currently are, we do anticipate that the funding requested will fully fund the projects that we have here, as well as what we've discussed for leveraging with New York State Construction Aid. Again, a discretionary funding amount that relies on IMLS funding from the federal government. So if something were to change next year and fiscal years beyond, that may change our calculus. But right now, we feel confident in what we can.
Any other questions from the members of the committee?
The only one I have is whether the library has explored joining the enterprise leasing program. I know certainly for your shipping vehicles, the box trucks, I don't know if that would be an opportunity, but certainly for your regular like maintenance pickups.
We have not. We would be open to it. I believe we discussed that at a meeting earlier this year about ways that we can continue to partner to lower our costs. In my previous role, I bothered Commissioner Geary pretty often about that leasing program. So we would be open to anything that would reduce our costs overall. Our vehicles do sustain significant wear and tear, given the maintenance we do throughout the Buffalo branches as well as throughout the county. Normal salt erosion and things like that, but they put on significant mileage. We're extremely proud of our shipping. The current routes are running on a very regular basis so that each library branch is getting 1 and some up to 2 and 3 deliveries a week of those requested books and materials to our patrons across the county.
Any other questions from the committee on either of the two proposals? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next we'll call SUNY Hearing. We have President Sagai, Vice President Blackwell. You can just introduce yourselves for the others who may not know you, as well as this is being recorded, so would ask, and it's actually being Zoom WebEx live, so I just ask that you identify yourself for the record.
Thank you, Lisa. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anya Zagai. I'm the president of SUNY Hearing. I would like Mr. Blackwell to introduce.
I'm James Blackwell, Vice President of Administration for SUNY Hearing.
So this afternoon, we're here. Before we start our request, I just want to thank the county exec himself and the legislator and everyone that has been supporting SUNY Hearing. We are projecting to be in a positive direction, and I will have Mr. Blackwell talk a little bit about our request this afternoon. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for the time today. Our request, the first request is for $6 million for continuation of work with the facility master plan. This has been an ongoing request as we try to stay up with all of the needs for the various buildings that we have throughout SUNY Hearing. So with that, a lot of that has to do with significant deferred maintenance that we're really trying to address. One of the projects in focus will be a roof repair, if approved, for our Kittinger building, which right now we're doing some really good work enhancing the classroom experience for students, and we just really want to seal up that out. So, $6 million for our facility master plan update. We have $1 million request for continuation of.
Well, why don't we handle these separately, because you have a few requests.
Okay.
First off, it's a $6 million request, but that's a total cost. It's $3 million county share, $3 million state.
Correct.
And you said it was for the Kittinger roof. Is there anything else? Because that seems like a lot of money for one roof for that one building.
Yeah, so there will be, I think, HVAC, chillers. So taking a step back, the JMZ master plan was conducted in 2021, gave us a list of numerous projects and things that we need to do to upkeep the campus. So it's in design, so we'll have to design based on the immediate need. But the immediate need first would be the roof, and then kind of with that funding that's hopefully left, we would do design and then build out from there, working off of that master plan list.
If I may, in addition to that, particularly at the location that Mr. Blackwell is talking about, is that we have other buildings that are also in need of repair. We're just taking the ones that are sort of an emergency right now, and the K building seems to be the first one.
Your buildings are never in not need of repair.
Exactly, I'm experiencing that, but I think we're making a lot of progress in ensuring that those buildings are fundamentally taken care of to make sure that it's safe and our students get the optimum experience.
We presently are completing a major project for the south location.
That's right.
And we are also finishing up the project associated with the city campus. neither of those require funding in the next fiscal year.
So let me answer with the south location. As you may all know, we have our grand opening on the 14th of August. So that's a brand new building. And so that building will not require this level of type of support, certainly to maintain it, sort of to make sure the aesthetics, but we're very proud of the new location that we're going to be having. The old location at the South Campus, that is something we have to talk about in terms of what the next step is. And we have about roughly a year and a half or so, because we do have some academic programming that we're teaching out. So we do not anticipate to do any work. In addition to that, we have 7 buildings at the current location. We are consolidating anything that the college needs in one building to really minimize any extra expense that we need to do. The city campus, it's a huge project. It is out, a very historical building, so we do have to be careful, and we are doing the diligent work with the support of the county staff to make sure we're taking the necessary steps to really address some of those needs.
Are there any other questions from the committee with regards to project number 1?
Yeah, I had one. Obviously, noting that this is phase 5 of the facilities master plan. Can you give a status update on how previous phases are going? Because I know while that money is probably mostly committed, it has not been spent yet. Just curious where those stand.
So we haven't.
Yep. So is there a specific?
No,
So
just
I like
generally
the,
that it seems as though, I mean, right now you have, as of April, you have about $14.5 million unexpended. And that seems like a lot of money to spend, quickly. And I just want to know whether you're backlogged a little bit in some of these projects, whether, if we move forward with this specific phase 5, if we're bonding for it, that's paying for in debt service currently, but those are funds that may not get spent for several years.
Okay. So there's almost in every building that we have right now, there's a major capital project that is going on. County DPW team is working extremely hard. In terms of what's outstanding, I know that we have our SUNY Hearing network, the infrastructure update. We have to submit for reimbursement from you all for that, so that's a large balance there. I think that's roughly like $6 million. That's actually going on right now. We've already procured the first portion of it, and those submittals will be going in for reimbursement soon. But I can go building by building with all the projects. We live it every day. I could sit here all day.
Give you a quick rundown though. We do have that work is backlogged. So phase 1 we have like $3 million for Register Hall. Phase 2 we have a little under $3 million between Register Hall and the Bell Center. This HVAC, 2 separate projects. Phase 3 we had $1.5 million for Spring Center Cafe, HVAC, IBC Spring Center, a new roof at the Bell Center. Classrooms in KAB, Register Halls, $2.3 million. So all that work is being booked and in the progress under design and bid. Some of it is delayed. And when I say delayed, the reason we're using old money is because we also have to leverage the state money and get approval from SUNY. So it has that domino effect. But it's not just like $6 million, it's not those million, we're asking for another $6 million. These are all projects that keep out across all North and City campus.
Absolutely. And just to add to that, part of what I see on my end in terms of some of the challenges, really trying to conduct the college's business at the same time we're doing these projects. So that makes it a little bit complicated. So we are, mindful of how and when we need to do those projects. So working with the team to make sure that instruction, and we also know that a lot of our students, coming into a construction zone is very intimidating. So we've been very careful about that too. So that is also part of the factor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on project number 1 from SUNY Hearing? If not, we'll move on to project number 2, SUNY Hearing North Sports Field improvement. And while you're doing this, I'd like an update on what is actually happening right now on phase 1 of the sports field.
Yep. So phase 1 of the sports field improvement project is a multi-purpose synthetic turf field located at North Campus. That will include football, soccer lines, and then there's a softball diamond in the back. It'll include exterior lighting for nighttime games, bleachers, and that is phase one. So that work is currently ongoing now. I believe the most recent update I had was end of September, maybe delivery date for that field. And then we are in phase two design for a concession, restroom, and changing area for out there as well. So phase three would be $1 million as to go and do design work for continuing the language that we're using. I mean, you can, the projects have not necessarily been identified, but the need has been.
Jim,
So-
you talk about the field, do you have a plan? I know like when you install the turf fields, the life of those fields is like maybe 10 years or something like that. So you're looking at both, like oftentimes there's a warranty, but there's also strict restrictions, and then you have to replace certain parts of that. Do you have a plan, like moving forward, how you would continue to fund those kind of legacy costs that
Yep.
new installations like this leave?
Yep. I was going to get to that.
Okay.
So I'll just jump right to that then. So one of the purposes of having a field is ongoing sustainability of the college. We understand that this is public money, and so there will be public usage, similar to what we do at the Burt Flickinger Center. So the money that comes in from rentals, which we certainly anticipate to be, a needed asset in that area, will go into continuing efforts and sustainability within athletics.
So you plan on
including that.
leasing, renting the field out for use, and you'll like obviously restrict or put signs up like you have to have turf shoes, or my kids just lie to me and tell me they need turf shoes because they like turf shoes. I mean, I know like they're pretty strict about, a lot of the installers are pretty strict about like.
The type for longevity of the field,
Yeah.
correct. So part of phase one is also a fence that goes around it, and so we'll have there'll always be staff around for anybody using it to make sure that the facility is being used correctly. But it's part of a larger effort internally within the college and how we schedule things. There's a software that we've recently procured that we're working with to address like internal class scheduling and room assignments. But there will also be a public-facing element to that software where individuals who want to rent or camps or whatever, you can basically do all of that electronically with all your waivers and whatever your insurance requirements it's submitted to.
So after phase one, we will have football, soccer, and soccer. The phase two is to design the bathrooms, items. Phase three, what sports are we talking about?
So the track so currently we have track and field, and the track out at North Campus is not sufficient in any way. Erie County personnel uses it for the police academy fitness test. There's some drainage things going on out there. Also, the workout room in the back of the Bell Center now. So right now, currently one of the capital projects that's ongoing is the roof replacement. So we're sealing up the envelope of the building. But that weight room is like a quarter the size of this with, no HVAC, no nothing in there. And so we're really talking about enhancing the student experience. If you're a football player, right now your weight room is, maybe
Why is it when everybody comes to us?
300 or 400.
The Buffalo Bills, it's always about the fan experience. Now it's the student experience.
Wow.
Well, without
I mean,
that's
that's
students there, right? They're paying, and without them, there's no college.
Always the experience. Anyway, I just wanted to. So you have $1 million.
I've never been really associated with the Bills like that before. All right.
No, JB. And then you have in phase 2 and 3, which is $5 million each, $2.5 million each year in 27 and 28. So you're saying the design you're proposing to be paid for on phase 1 and 26 would design phases 2 and 3.
It would continue into yes. So like the baseball diamond, for example, that remains untouched. That baseball field is not great by any stretch of the imagination. So yes, it would be kind of continuing out the design work for the entire complex and for years to come.
Any other questions on
I
that?
just had one, in terms of timing, obviously you indicated that, you expect turf delivery, give or take, this fall. Would that mean that, at least for spring 26, I assume only softball, but it'll be a playable location, or that's the expectation?
Yes.
And
So-
then rolling into your fall 26 sports?
Correct. We were trying for football this year. There are some delays, as Commissioner mentioned, just kind of delays throughout. So we've worked that out. But yes,
Okay.
we'll have a playable field
It's
for
just,
softball.
and I can't help but to mention this, County Executive Ed, in terms of our enrollment, right? That's the value added, right? There's plenty of community colleges and other higher ed in the area for our students to continue to choose us. And we do have about 100 students in football as an example, right? It's a key piece for us to be able to talk about the value of the college. And so sport is a big one. We have about 14 official sport at the college, both women and men. So we want to increase that opportunity and give our students that life experience. So this is also a huge piece for us in terms of staying at the top in terms of enrollment, but more importantly, engaging our students when they come to the college so that we can get them to the finish line. So that piece is really critical.
Any questions on this project? The next one is the salt barn.
Yeah, so we are looking for a salt barn for our North Campus location. Yes, it is 1.5 million for that. Currently, right now, the process for salt is that it is stored in our garage, our facility garage at North Campus. So there's limited space and a limited amount of salt that you're able to store. So we're constantly having to reach out to vendors for truckloads to supply us with salt. Also, by having salt inside, that space where our equipment is now getting exposed outside because we're losing that space. And then I don't know a ton about vehicles and how they respond to salt, but storing the salt in the garage where you're storing your vehicles and equipment also increases wear and tear on those assets in there. So we're looking to have a salt barn to A, reduce costs, B, to really extend the longevity of the assets that we have. And that salt barn would support all of North Campus, our city campus, and what remains for us out in South at the Vehicle Training Center.
Our locations.
I was just going to say.
I didn't know what that was.
Our location.
Our location.
Sorry.
Any comments or questions with regards to this from members of the committee? If not, your final proposal.
Final proposal is a $1 million ask for energy performance contracting. The county itself has experienced really good success with energy performance contracting as of late. This kind of really speaks to the sustainability, not in terms of what we're doing and what we're emitting out into the community, but also sustainability in terms of the college long term. And so, taking advantage of those the rebates that you get and the various incentives that you get. Obviously, you have the fiscal sustainability element of it, where directly you would be reducing costs and electricity and gas. So that is really the basis of what we're looking for with the energy performance contract. This would really get us started. No design work has been conducted yet, but this would go towards the design and then really kind of kickstarting it off as a long-term investment in the college.
Any questions for people with regards to the energy performance request?
Yeah, just to clarify, so this full amount would be for like design and sort of fact finding, if you will, of projects to go forward. You don't have any specific projects already in the hopper that this money would go towards?
Not at this moment. No.
and this is an important piece, part of, I know SUNY initiative and the chancellor has been to really talk about climate and how community colleges and other schools are part of it. And so it would bring us up to part with what they're doing and would allow for the college also to participate on a lot of the future grant that's happening. We're not able to do that right now.
Mark, just with our experience though, some of that, when they do what they call a facility improvement measure, the design portion, if you will, it can also pay for the construction side of it. So a lot of times, like parking lot lights that are that's football still can be switched over to LEDs and that money can be used for that. And then the payback period is usually like 8 months plus 3 months. So that money could leverage other.
Okay.
Okay, I have one final question, which is in regards to all four. The order in which they were presented, is that the priority of the college?
Yes.
I say that because this year we've had a request of $250 million of capital projects, in which $213 million are county share. We obviously will not be doing that much. So your priorities are with the facility master plan and the sports fields. Two top ones.
Yes.
Any other questions for our friends from SUNY Hearing? Not, thank you, Madam President, Vice President, appreciate it. We are going to go to the external agencies based on the list of the agenda, starting off with Roycroft campus.
So I do have a slideshow presentation for you.
We getting it on the screen?
Yep. My name is
Pass one out.
Kurt Moranto. I'm the executive director for the Roycroft campus located in East Aurora, New York. We are probably one of the only almost fully intact arts and crafts communities in the United States. We have 13 of our 16 buildings still intact. We own 4 of those structures, and today we're here to talk to you about the Roycroft Print Shop Tower project.
So one moment, Chuck, are you able to pull up the presentation?
Sorry, it's delayed pulling up.
Oh, you got it.
Yep.
Just wait till we get up. How are we doing there? Sorry about that. Okay, there we go.
All right. So this is a current view of the print shop tower. The print shop itself is one of the largest buildings on the Roycroft campus. It was built in 1901. It's approximately 25,000 square feet. The building was sold off in 1938 to a Texas publishing firm in hope that they could keep the campus alive and working. Unfortunately, by 1940, the campus went defunct and the building shuttered itself. One of the problems with this building being shuttered for 10 years was that when it was sold off, it was cut off of all electricity, all plumbing, all heat. Any necessity to keep this building operational ceased to exist because all the buildings were interlinked between the powerhouse. The building itself, I don't know if this is gonna, will this work?
withdraw too.
Yeah, I'll advance it.
Okay. So again, so the building was built in 1901. It's built of all local field stone. Farmers who had extra field stone were given $1 for a truckload of or a cartload of stone. It was brought to the campus. It was dumped on the campus, and the Roycrofters built the print shop. The print shop itself houses the campus museum, the historic press room, the Jerry and Barbara Castilia Art Center, and the newly restored 3rd and 4th floor. Our goal for the print shop is to restore it back to its historic former glory, creating an unforgettable guest experience and student experience. If you want to get some people in there for art classes,
It's all about experience.
it's all about the experience. And to best utilize this space and to honor the Roycroft printing legacy. This image is of the first floor of some of our printers and when they were doing typesetting. We can click through the next two if you want. So that is a broad view of the print shop itself, and then the scope of the project on the next slide will show you. That is the east view, and you can see all those beautiful arrows there. And this just kind of gives you an idea of the top arrow to the left. There's the lighting. There's a door, there's windows, and then there's the north door with the arrows running down the side, and we'll take a closer look at those real quick. The lower level east window repair and restoration, that is a picture of the way that the window is currently in its state. The unfortunate part is some of these windows were replaced in the 1950s. Some were left original, but they do have plate glass in them, so anything as small as a rock can shatter the glass, which has happened here, which makes it almost impossible to keep up on the repair of these windows, as for some reason the lawnmowers like to throw a lot of rocks around. The next is the east window, and this actually gives you a great understanding of what the original windows look like. At some point, these wells were put around the windows because the Roycroft campus is actually 2 feet higher than it originally was in 1901. So what had happened as the ground level was raised, they had to put the wells in to keep dirt from cascading in to the windows. Go to the next slide. You can see the north view window, and you can actually see a fully restored window. So we funded about $50,000 to restore 12 of the print shop windows. So you can see the one that would be the right-hand side. That is a fully restored window with safety glass, with a storm put on it. And then you can see the wells have been cut back and down to provide something more aesthetic. We go to the next side. We're talking about our door and casement restoration. This is an original north door, which still sits in the building. You will notice that it is slowly deteriorating down at the bottom. The casements are disintegrating, and all of the mortar joints that are in place have completely disintegrated after 100 years. Our plan is to restore the door. We can go to the next slide. We'll do to fully restore the door and to restore the casement. We are lucky enough to have this original door, so that door will be reused. Then we also have the original east door. The east door sits in our visitor center, and it was removed in the 1950s. And for whatever logic, it was cut down in size, moved inside the building to the upstairs, and they flipped it around, switched the hinges, drilled more holes in it, and there it sits. So we have it as a template so it can be reconstructed and it can be reinstalled along with a storm door that will protect these doors from the harsh winters. One of the important pieces about restoring this exterior and interior of this first floor is because this is the heart of the campus, this building. When we do festivals, when we do concerts, anything that happens out on the Great Lawn, or when visitors come, they walk through these doors and into the print shop to visit the amenities on the interior. Next slide. We also are working to reconstruct the original lighting that was on the building. We are lucky enough to have one of the drawings of one of the original fixtures. And there was one over the north door, and there was one over the east door. We go to the next slide, you can see what the original fixture looked like with the women of the Roycroft standing. And the next slide will show you an actual light that we found buried deep in the basement. It is pretty rusted out, but it's on display. So we have the templates to recreate these lights and put them back. We have also just recently received a grant for $20,000 to uplight the entire exterior of this building. So the building will be illuminated at night, bringing the campus to life. And we had recently received a grant for about $10,000 that illuminated the Appian Way from the trees down, which also continues to bring the campus to life. Go to the next slide. You can see the existing interior of the first floor. We are lucky enough to still have the original woodwork intact, but the original floors have about 3 layers of plywood and several layers of tile that have been added to it, a drop ceiling, 1920 lights. And if you go to the next slide, we were lucky enough to have them install in 1950 a restroom. The window was not there when it was a restroom. The odd thing about the Roycroft campus, while it employed over 500 employees, there were no restrooms on this campus. So we know these restrooms were put into the 1950s. What we are hoping for, if you look up in this corner at the very top, you can see the original moldings. We know that they are encased behind the walls. So we are hoping when that facade is removed, the original crown moldings will reappear and we'll be able to clean those up. So what impact will this project have? Next slide. For the campus, this is the 3rd floor, and you visited and saw the restoration. Go to the next slide. We will continue to be able to partner with schools. We have many school programs where students come to the Roycroft campus. They learn about bookbinding. They learn about the art of illuminating. They learn about the art of printing. This is the Amherst Middle School that came for one of those projects. The next slide. The Roycroft campus continues to drive economic development for East Aurora and Western New York. We see over 250,000 guests on the Roycroft campus annually. If you've ever been to any of our shows, you can witness a campus that is truly alive and breathing, and individuals coming from all over the East Coast, Northeast, to come and visit the campus. And lastly, this project just helps us to continue to share this national historic landmark for generations to come. There's so much to be done. The campus is stone, and it is wood, and it is stucco. It's over 100 years old. It is our job to be custodians of this archaeological treasure. And we want it to be there for future generations. We have a brief moment with it, but we are hoping it will continue to exist for many, many years to come. And this project will just help us move slightly a bit more forward We're looking at the project costing about $186,000, or I'm sorry, yeah, $186,000. About approximately 13,000 is already secured. All of our other projects that the county has been so generous to fund, we have always finished on time, on budget, and we are prepared to get started with this budget with this project in the new year with your approval. So, thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Kurt. That my only concern was with regards to the cost. It seems like a lot of work's being done for really a lot of money.
You're correct. And even we were amazed by that. One thing that I didn't mention within this is the staircase that is there on the first floor. These are all very niche specialty projects. So rebuilding a door, we know is about $10,000. We know that each window to be reproduced is anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000. So there's 3 windows that have to be restored. There's 2 doors, casements. The floors should be a simple project. So we really tried to hone in on a project that we knew wasn't going to cost a lot, but was going to have a dramatic impact on the campus.
Any questions from other members of the committee? No, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Buffalo Center for Arts and Technology.
Yeah, a slide show also. So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for welcoming PCAT here. We appreciate the opportunity. County Exec, thank you so much for your support. Just want you to know before Sean introduces himself and starts the program from us that your support in the past has accelerated the economic advancement of our constituents and the county. And that's what we hope to continue to do. So, Sean?
So my name is Sean Crawford. I'm the Advancement Director at Buffalo Center for Arts and Technology. And I think to echo what Gina's saying, what we want to put forward with this project is the idea that this is an investment in resources in a community that has traditionally been neglected in terms of childcare, workforce development, as well as healthcare. This project also mirrors all the economic development activities that are happening throughout the Jefferson corridor and the Lower East Side. If you drive through the Willard Park neighborhood, you'll see a lot of homes that were put up, single family as well as doubles, in the 90s and 2000s as part of an urban renewal agency project. You'll see that despite those affordable houses coming up, the median income of this neighborhood is still 34% lower than the rest of the city. It's because there have been additional resources invested into this particular area. Our goal is to look at farther expansion of our space, currently at 368 Sycamore Street, and then bring in partners to help further develop both the community as well as our program network. Next slide, please. So if you're not familiar, BCAT, Buffalo Center for Arts and Technology, our whole focus is looking at the pipeline from K to Gray or Cradles to Careers. We're focused on a high school college career pathways program with a heavy focus on arts and technology, as well as an adult workforce program in allied healthcare, IT, and landscaping. The whole idea is we take individuals who traditionally don't have access to educational opportunity. We create college and career pathways in partnership with our instructors, our community partners, and consistently year over year, we have an 85% graduation certification rate among our adults, and then consistently since our founding in 2013, 100% high school graduation rate, compared to, I think, 79% for the Buffalo Public and Charter Schools. Last year, we served 160 adults. That's 160 adults that leave our program and are accessing jobs that start at around $45,000 a year. If you're looking through your packet, you'll see that most of our students coming in, about 60% are unemployed, rely on public assistance, and the median income or average income is about $17,000 when they enter the program. So over the course of 3 months, they're attaining recognized career certifications and accessing jobs that meet demands from our local employers. Next slide. I wanted to showcase that we don't just serve Buffalo and the east side of Buffalo, even though that is our primary constituency. We do have residents from some of the lower income range suburbs. So we serve several people from Cheektowaga, Lackawanna, Sloan, and we've also had students come as far as East Aurora into our programs. So it really is county-wide. We even have some students that come down from Niagara Falls. Next slide. So our project started, it's really a two-phase project. The application, the way it's set up, we refer to it as phase 1, 2026. But really the first phase of the project for 368 Sycamore Street began in 2024. So we entered this abandoned space at the corner of Mortimer and Sycamore. It's between Jefferson and Michigan Avenue. It was a workforce development site that was under contract, and they abandoned the lease mid-contract. So we were able to access a lease with Douglas Development, in which we amortized the full cost of the build out for the second and third floor of the building into our lease, basically an interest-free loan over 10 years. If you go to the next slide, this is what the space looks like now. So we are operating on the second and third floor. We have capacity to serve over 250 adults and 100 youth. It's a beautiful new facility that is now part of a community. It's a very vibrant community. We host 3 different block clubs month over month in our conference room. We have a public gallery space. We've doubled the number of classrooms. We also have private counseling rooms, as well as other areas to engage the community. Next slide. One of the things that's exciting about this space, and as part of our philosophy, is that environment matters. So when you come into the space, it's not seen as a rundown career center. It's not a rundown after-school program for our high school students. It's a bright, vibrant space, and we're very fortunate in the first phase to receive funding from the county through the Erie County Cultural Capital Program for the IT infrastructure as well as equipment. So several of our laptops for our IT programs, as well as equipment for our youth program, were sponsored by Erie County. Next slide, please. The phase that we're coming to you today about is for 26 and 27. We are looking to extend to the first floor of the building, which is currently vacant raw space. Some remediation has been done on this space, but we estimate for our portion will be about 1.1 million to access 4,800 square feet on the first floor, as well as reconfiguring some of our classrooms to meet demand over the next 2 or 3 years for additional IT classes and additional allied health programs. In this space, we're looking to build out a larger conference space for nonprofits, so 3 additional classrooms through the center, a larger gallery space that's accessible to our back parking lot, as well as co-working space for our staff when we move them from the 3rd floor and combine those offices into classroom space. Next slide, please. So the total project, including phase 1 that was completed in October of 2024, is $6 million. The $4.8 million, we are still raising funds through our capital campaign. We have a larger capital campaign that includes a newly seeded endowment, as well as operating program reserves. And then the additional $1.1 million that includes an estimated $125 a square foot on the first floor, $100 a square foot on the 3rd floor renovations, as well as any furniture and fixtures and equipment. Part of what we'd like to do is create smart classrooms that we can offer our program off-site to individuals that can't access the actual space. Next slide. So we currently have some funding from the state as well as other sources. Our initial seed funding was from KeyBank Foundation, a gift in 2022, as well as gifts from John R. O'Shea, where they went through their strategic planning process, as well as a $500,000 gift from Peter C. Cornell Trust, $250,000 from MNT, and again, the Erie County gifts during the first phase to our technology infrastructure. Next slide. So part of what we're looking at with this first floor and the investment from the county, the investment we're asking for specifically for our space, but we're working with the developer to identify what other resources are needed in the community. As I said, we have 3 block clubs that utilize our space. We've been meeting with local officials, including Legislator Dupree, as well as the state level, and identifying what resources are needed most. What we're hearing is a pharmacy, the employment training that we do, health clinic, meeting spaces primarily for nonprofit organizations, senior supports, as well as banking services. There is a bank over at the YMCA, however, it does not do cash banking services, and that's what we've been asked for. If you're looking at this, it kind of echoes current demographics of our community. It's primarily seniors that have been living in these houses for the last 35, 40 years. Next slide. So what we're asking for is, these are just plain numbers, national ROI and workforce investment programs. What that includes is the fact that our students over 3 months are going from $17,000 or unemployed and on public assistance into jobs that start at $45,000 a year. They are filling gaps in the healthcare sector and IT sector, primarily in the city of Buffalo. We have a partnership right now with Applied Health where we're training their certified medical administrative assistance programs. They came to us to develop a program after having 300 employees turnover system-wide in 2023. So we estimate with our graduates about $6 to $7 million in new wage earners. These are individuals coming off public assistance, houses for the first time, and they are the first in their families to have children pursuing higher education degrees. Like I said, 100% of our high school students graduate year over year. In the last 3 years, 100% of our students have been accepted into the college of their choice. So to kind of go off what I was saying, we're really trying to identify partners alongside our developer to land leases for right now a banking and then a pharmacy and health plan. Our banking partner is very close to signing a lease, so I can't say who it is yet. And then we're in talks right now with several hospitals to set up a retail pharmacy as well as some sort of wellness clinic on our first floor. So the idea is we're going to be able to help control who comes into the space. We want to make sure it's something that echoes the needs of the community. And I'll open up for questions.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Couple questions. The request you have is for $1 million.
Yes.
None of that is to be used for the financing of what has already been completed in phase one that you said you still have a shortfall on.
No, and I talked with the office. I talked with Tim about that too. So this would all be the new funds for the first floor as well as the ongoing changes to the third floor that weren't included in that first phase. So again, it's already completed. It's not included in this.
And then with regard to this phase two, the first floor, you talked about the other services. Is the proposal for the build out associated with those other services?
It's just for our portion of the project. Your overall project would include bringing people in, but we wouldn't be responsible for the cost of a bank to build out or for a pharmacy or clinic to build out.
Okay. And if the county was unable to meet the full request with partial, what impact would that have?
It would just delay the project timeline. So we'd have to look for other funding sources, most likely through the state. One of the issues we had coming into this facility, because it had already gone through several phases of construction and remediation for another workforce provider, we signed our lease November 2023, and we're in within 9 months into the new building. That tight timeline cut us out a lot of foundation funding support and anybody that wouldn't retroactively fund a project that was already completed. So this gives us more of a timeline. I think if we had waited to move into the space on the first floor, that would have been, 150 to 300 graduates that wouldn't have gone through our programs.
Any other questions from members of the committee? Hearing none, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Spectrum Health. If you could identify yourselves and those that are watching online.
Good afternoon. My name is Nick Jerome, CFO with Spectrum Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Melissa Farrell. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Spectrum Health and Human Services. So I will start off with a little overview of what Spectrum Health provides to the Western New York community. We have been a behavioral health provider for 52 years, serving the majority Erie County. We have both urban and rural clinics that provide substance use and mental health counseling for individuals in our community. Can you advance the next slide? Sorry. And one more. So one of the things that Spectrum Health really prides ourselves on is being innovative and meeting the needs of the individuals in our community. And so we have, for the past 52 years, worked really hard to provide both embedded treatment services as well as holistic treatment services that really meet the needs of individuals in a creative way that helps prevent barriers in accessing care. So we are one of the first agencies or the first agency in all of New York State to provide integrated substance use and behavioral health services for individuals who have both the mental health and addiction treatment service need. So we're able to provide people with those services under one treatment plan. So in Erie County, we currently provide counseling services in, we have a total of 18 locations. We employ 400 employees in Western New York. And you can advance to the next slide. One more. So part of what we have done is in 2017, we filed to be a part of a federal demonstration project, which was for certified community behavioral health centers. They provide ease of access for individuals so that there's no wrong door for people who are seeking services. It reduced delays in accessing care where people can get same-day services, and you can get services even if you do not have the ability to pay for services. We also embed our services in a lot of treatment program or community programs. So we have school-based mental health services in both Williamsville and Lancaster. We provide medication-assisted treatment for individuals who have addiction treatment needs. And we have recently opened a rapid access center for individuals in East Buffalo seeking urgent access to behavioral health care services. Next slide. So we are also the county designee for providing emergency crisis services to youth in the community. So we will go out to these homes and provide a crisis assessment and, if necessary, support transport safely to the hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. And just a list of some of our community-based services. So we provide assertive community treatment services for individuals with significant mental health needs. So these are often individuals coming out of forensic settings who are not successful in traditional treatment services. We provide health home services to help people access health home or healthcare, housing, and peer services, which are individuals with lived experience to help support people maintaining access to treatment. Re-entry for individuals coming out of jail to help them secure housing, medical care, as well as vocation. Vocational services. Our Buffalo Hope Comps program stemmed from Project Hope, which was an initiative during COVID. And then we also provide jail services in Wyoming County. Next slide. So some of our team being out in the community and engaging. Go to the next. So our proposal today is around our 1280 Main Street facility. 1280 Main Street is our flagship facility for Spectrum Health and Human Services. We own this facility, and it was a hub for all of our behavioral health services in the city of Buffalo. So we had both a clinic here, as well as housing services, re-entry services, peer services. Our ACT program was based out of this, and our health home was also based out of this location. You can go to the next slide. One of the benefits of having all of those services in one place is that for individuals who really struggle to access services, if it's all under one roof and under one team, it's much easier for them to maintain those linkages. So 1280 Main Street is a 120-year-old facility. It is a 3-story building, formerly the Otis Elevator headquarters. It employed 125 of our staff. The majority of those individuals resided in the city of Buffalo, and we served 2.5 thousand patients in that facility. So on December 24th of 2022, during the blizzard that struck the city of Buffalo, a window in the upstairs 3rd floor was broken. The cold temperatures froze one of the sprinkler lines, which ruptured and flooded the building with more than 139,000 gallons of water. It caused significant damage and unfortunately rendered the building unsafe to be utilized. So we have a few pictures here of the damage. So the agency was able to pivot very quickly, and we were able to secure facilities so that we did not have any interruption to services for our individuals. So we are leasing space next door at 1298 Main Street. We also have additional space further down on Main Street. And then we have dispersed the rest of the teams into other facilities that we currently operate. The detriment of losing this hub that we had for services downtown in Erie County was we had a significant decrease in the number of services and how we were able to help meet the needs of individuals. So we have provided a handout here, and it does go through some of the services that we were able to provide prior to the flood. So in 2022, we provided a little over 35,000 services to individuals in the city of Buffalo out of this location. Collectively now, with this divided operations that we've had to do in 2023, we are only able to provide 12,000. So there's been a significant decline in the ability for us to meet people's needs because we are operating out of much smaller facilities that are not really as conducive to how our 1280 facility was able to operate as a conglomerate. And then Nick's going to talk a little bit about our rebuild.
So, as Melissa alluded to, we are currently in the space across the street at St. Vincent de Paul at a roughly 4,900 square feet versus the 20,000 previously out of this building, specific to our clinic alone, let alone all the services that we provide in the community. So where we are currently, we started, we did phases, as you can see in the handout here. So phase one was really remediation and abatement. With all that water going through in the mold, and then subsequently finding some old asbestos materials from the age of the building, and completed all that and moved into phase two. And phase two, really, we're a good way of the part through phase two. We're trying to get the building so that we can bring our clinical operations and some of our community services back in, and then work to phase three to complete the building into 2026. The project's currently on hold. We stopped at a point where the building was able to be contained, and we were getting away from the temporary heat that we had to go through another winter through. So at this point, just recently, we were awarded $4 million through Trust, through Crystal People-Stokes' office. And once we receive the official notice for the date that we can move forward to spend, our intent is to get the clinical operations back in and remove some of these temporary locations we have, and then move into phase three, where we complete the other floors and build it out for our community-based services to have a home back at 1280 again. Our ask view is $400,000 towards that end into 2026 as we finalize. And with this being over 3 years by it's all said and done, we've seen significant increases, and we're asking for that with the anticipation that we will see more increases as we get into 2026, depending on how some of these unavoidable increases go. We do also have, on the last page of that handout we gave you, there is a significant grant. So out of the 18 million total, we're looking at that we have basically a balance of 9.3 to fill the gap. We have exhausted all resources from our insurance proceeds and everything at this point. But we do have a grant of just over $9 million with the statewide healthcare facility transformation grant. That is over 2 years standing out there. We're waiting to hear. We're hoping to hear that is awarded to us to help offset this. And we have just over $1 million out to ESD for one of their grants with the not-for-profit capital grant. And then we also, as part of that statewide healthcare facility transformation program, we included some of our IT expenses in there for $1.3 million for the building when we do go live, and hopefully those come in conjunction. The Patrick Leaf Foundation was generous enough to give us $200,000 towards this end last year. And the last one there is that $4 million from the Crest through the delegation, Western New York delegation. So.
Thank you. The $400,000, is that to handle cost overruns associated with phase 2, or is that what is anticipated for phase 3?
It would be more of phase 3. Phase 3 would be the expectation of the 2026 start. We're hoping to have phase 2 completed by year end or early 2026, and then go into phase 3.
What happens if you don't have enough money to finish phase 2?
We do not. Well, with the award from the delegation, phase 2 should be complete with that $4 million to move, get our COO back in. The not getting the funding will just delay it longer until we can determine how to fund the balance. If that
It's a question maybe I should have said differently. The phase 3 work, of which you're requesting $400,000 for, is that dependent on finishing everything in phase 2, or is it totally?
yes. Phase 2 would be the complete renovation of floors 1 and 2, leaving the basement, 3rd and 4th floor as envelopes. But I could still condition the building and control it. And then phase 3 would be the build out of that interior and exterior completion.
Any questions from other members of the committee?
Photos of the blizzard damage were dramatic for me. I lost my office at Canisius and the whole blizzard thing. The curtailment of services, is anybody picking up the slack?
I think it creates longer wait times. As we know, the services within the city are difficult to access for individuals who struggle with transportation. So we've done our best. We do offer as many telehealth services as we're able to. We do also have a location in South Buffalo. So we've tried to jockey and help people get transportation to places. Our current location, we've been very thankful to partner with St. Vincent de Paul to give us space in their building. It is on the 2nd floor. It makes us a little less visible. We've been a part of the Main Street community for 40 years. And so, you know, our vacant building, I think, is what people see. They don't necessarily know that we're hidden on the 2nd floor across the street. The loss of the building was incredibly traumatic for our staff and for our clients. It's been home for a lot of people. I mean, we do Thanksgiving dinner there. You know, people come because it often is almost, you know, people spend the majority of their day there going to groups, and it really was a culture.
Do you think that cramped quarters have cost you staff?
We have not. So as we have lost positions, we have not been able to refill them, in part because of space. So we just don't have as much space to have as much capacity as we had in the previous building.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
I just had one. Looking at your grants overview, just clarify for me, have these grants all been received, or are they in various like levels of approval still?
Yeah, so the first 3 for the statewide, so the 1st and the 3rd with statewide are still in review status.
Okay.
The ESD, the second one, is also in review. The Patrick Lee has been awarded and funded. And then the CREST, we have the funding notification has been received, and the next step would be a formal award letter from the speaker. And then at that point, it would give us the date that we can actually move forward.
Right, then working with DASNY then for that.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll work to the last of the starting agencies about the redetermination. Then we will have the legislature and the environment.
So, thank you, everybody. I'm Jonathan Schechter. I'm lately the president of the Jewish Federation Cemetery Group. The Jewish Federation, as you know, is a 501c3 here in Western New York, services our community, much like Catholic Charities does, non-religious. Just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. But all community related, we help support our Jewish Community Center. We help support Jewish Family Service agencies and the like that you know, everybody in town uses. So a number of years ago, I was asked, I'm here with Judy Sperry, and Judy Sperry is with the Foundation for Jewish Philanthropies and has been, very helpful in helping all our agencies in town, help make their budgets and the like. A number of years ago, I got involved with maintaining the old Jewish cemeteries that were abandoned by many synagogues that were defunct anymore. And we ended up fixing about 1,200 stones. We invested over $1 million, and all of a sudden we got the idea of, wait a minute, we have a lot of really cool residents here. Why don't we do what Forest Lawn was doing? And of course, we talked to Julie Steiner of Forest Lawn, who's been a great mentor to us. And we said, let's start putting together tours. And we combined with Explore Buffalo. We started doing tours, and people meet our famous residents too, that have been, in Buffalo. Jewish community of Buffalo started about 1840, realistically. So we have found that this has been, then we found out a number of years ago that we have buried here in the United States of America the first Orthodox rabbi from Eastern Europe that came over in about 1900, and it was from the Pacific set. And he is buried almost on the corner of Maryvale and Pine Ridge. And suddenly, he was a very spiritual, holy man. And in the 1920s, congregation actually built a small building over his grave, and it's called an Ohel in Hebrew. And about 25 years ago, we started seeing that people would come and pray, and it was kind of like people coming up to go to see Father Baker's site, to go over to the Basilica. And all of a sudden, I started to realize, wow, we have some spiritual tourism here. And these people come up in busloads, and they go, and guess what? They also go to the Roycroft, they go to Niagara Falls, and they make a day of it, or a couple of days of it. So we realized that we have nothing for our tours that come up to go see the rabbi's gravesite, which we actually expanded a couple of years ago because we've had so many people come up. Every year in the memorial of his death is like a 3-day period. We must have 15,000 to 20,000 people come up, and we're estimating that another 20,000 people come up throughout the year based on the buses, based on the candles lit in there. That's how we've been able to figure this out. So as we've been moving forward, trying to capture these tourists and keep them in town, we realized that we have no visitor center. We don't have anything. We have nothing on site. There's no bathroom. There's no nothing. There's just a Tim Hortons down the street, and it's just it's outrageous. So if you did, Tim, do that. Thank you so much. So what we've done is about a half mile down the street, we have this beautiful, and this is only about 600 square feet, building, which is now on a cemetery, which is part of the New York State Historic and National Historic Register. And we have this building that was built in 1925, 600 square feet, donated by the Adler family. I think that's Mr. Adler here. And they owned a women's clothing store, Fillmore Broadway. I mean, so you find out about these amazing people. And we have this beautiful building that we could turn into a visitor center and museum. It's not that big. Total project cost, if you want to just go ahead, I have 500 here, but we think we actually have been basing it on 400. We're asking for 100 to assist. Now you can go back. The other one, this one. So, did it go? There we go. Okay, so we really are we want to accommodate our tourism. We want to rehabilitate it with preservation efforts to bring it back to life. It's an Egyptian revivalist building, very small. We think it was, we couldn't figure out who the architect was. We think that it was either Eli Greenstein, who did the gate, or maybe John Brent, who was the first African American architect in Western New York, who did the gates at Forest Lawn, right? Forest Lawn. Yeah, he did the Forest Lawn gates. So we got down, it helped us when we did the application. Next slide, it's fine. We've done our architectural plans. Hey, go back a little bit, do one more. We have site control. It is an old synagogue cemetery. We have a contract to purchase that building itself for $1. They're donating it. It's a liability to them. We've already worked with K1 Architecture. We've already worked with BRD. We have quotes. We're not too bad of a time. We've gotten some assistance from other community members in the real estate business. We have to run, unfortunately, there is no water or sewer out there. We have to run a 500-foot water line to Carroll Street. We have to put in the septic. You can go to the next one. Okay, this is actually our cost. Our cost from BRD was 408. We were looking for 100. We've raised 73.8 from the Western Power Authority. We did get a grant. Okay, we've raised about another 125 private donations. I think I got another private donation today. I know that if I could get the county share grant, that I have a matcher out there that would match that grant, which is amazing. So we would be able to, probably get it done. Our biggest problem is the infrastructure, sewer and water line. Otherwise it was probably a $300,000 project. It's a bummer, but we're going to get on it. Next slide. Really, it's tourism. We want to capture these people coming to town. We want to get them not just to go to Niagara Falls. We want to get them to go to Roycroft. They're always looking for things to do because nobody knows what to do. And these individuals come from all over. They come from downstate. They come from Montreal. They come from Toronto. They're coming here. They're visiting the famous rabbi. They're looking for things to do. Okay. We also helped us raise money. We're raising endowment. We're still doing a lot of things because we want to maintain our cemeteries. Next slide. Okay, we do align. I think we align with New York State tourism priorities. I think we align with Erie County tourism priorities. I know it's hard to read. Next slide. And I just wanted to, you can go to the next one. I just want to show you some of the pictures as I close out. This is what it looks like now. Okay, as you can see, it's not a big building. Okay, so we're basically talking 2 restrooms on this side, and then community space and our museum on this side, where we're going to put placards of all the historic cemeteries where they came from, the old synagogue. Buffalo. Go ahead, next slide. Get an idea of what it looks like. That's the front, as you can see, the cemetery. Next one. This donation by the Adlers, 1925. It's windows need to be replaced. Again, we have to do it according to everything we ship up. Next one. This is where you can really see. Unfortunately, this is what it turned into. So this is what we're talking about in fixing for the interior. You can go to the next slide. And so this is where bathrooms would now go. Obviously, there used to be power in there. I think it used to be used as an office many years ago. Next slide. And that's really it. I mean, we're looking for help. We hope it helps. We hope that we can create this visitor center museum. We can hope that we can keep these tourists in town and get them to all the places in Western New York that matter. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. How far away is it from the actual
It's about a half mile. Yeah, it's about a half mile. So it's within distance. So unfortunately,
is it on Pine Hill?
It's on Pine. Yeah, it's right after St. John's and Mount Gallery. So everything stays. Everybody can drive. It's within the same distance. And it works. That's what we were looking at. We're like, let's save it. There used to be another chapel next door, even bigger, with the first synagogue in town, Temple Bethel. They couldn't maintain it. They had to take it down. It was even bigger and more beautiful, something like this.
No, the timing, you're hoping to have this work started in 26?
Yeah, I've been, if I could have done it at 24, I would have done it then, but yeah.
Someone who deals with our sewer department, I know how expensive sewer projects can be.
That is our biggest, well, I think we have to go, that's true, I think we have to go septic, which, cause I don't think I can afford the septic line and the water. But I gotta have fresh water, and unfortunately, there's no water in Pine Ridge. Everything there is using, even though Mount Calvary uses the wells. And health department, I think in their building, they said, no way, you can't use the wells. So that's really where the big one came. So, but we have it, we have a way to do it. We have a long pathway to get to Carroll Street. We can get to it. And I think it'll be really nice. No matter what, we're gonna get this done. It's my passion project. So
One final question, you talked about tourism. Once this is completed, would there be a concerted effort to reach out to like the residents of Curious Joel and other types of acidic communities in New York to try to bring them here?
they're coming. The question is, how do I keep them and get them to spend money? And it's a
We
little
like that, especially if they spend sales tax.
exactly. It's a little harder. It's exactly right. So where they come to down the street is really more a place where they pray by the graveside of the rabbi. So it's kind of hard to put marketing materials in there.
I've seen, because I've been there for the
Yeah, you
last
were
year.
there for the event. You were there for our groundbreaking. So it's a little hard to do that. I mean, we go in there and people. It's really a memorial space. People light candles. They leave prayers. They write notes. We have a big, basically wooden beautiful box over the rabbi's grave with the notes in there. We have to, and then you can't throw the notes out. We have to bury them. Of course, religious law, so we have to dig up. If there's burial, or we dig up. So that's what you do. But the point is to keep them. The point is to keep them and keep them on this side of of Niagara Falls. I deal with this all the time. The point is to try to keep them in Airbnbs. People need kosher food. We now have kosher at top, so we keep them there. So our goal is to keep them in town and keep them doing things, and especially this time of year. And they come up, and not only do they fly up and fly back, some people who really want to make a spiritual trip, but busloads of kids come up from the religious schools that you said downstate in Muncie, and they come up, they say, hey, do a good job, you're going to come up, and we're going to take you to the falls, and you go on the Maid of the Mist, and blah, 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 blah. And so we've been getting that, and I've been getting families. And then, as I said with this, it's so amazing the people that come up. The site that the county executive just mentioned, we don't have an air conditioner in there. We put heat in during the winter, but we wired it for a split unit. And somebody came up and said, we'll donate $5,000 for the split unit. I mean, so it's really amazing. They're not from Western New York. They have no reason to do this. But, anything, if you get them here, make it more comfortable and keep them here for a day or two.
We have explored Buffalo tours, so if anyone wants to come join the tour, let us know. We can...
Oh, be more explored. We have these amazing Explore Buffalo tours. And you can meet all our famous residents from somebody who was in the U.S.-Mexican War to famous architects to famous songwriters. We actually, it's really kind of neat that we really took the lead of learning what we have there from Forest Lawn. Take advantage of, moving around. So thank you.
Any other questions from members of the committee? No, thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Okay, legislature and E&P.
So I do not believe we have anybody for that project attending. It was sponsored by legislator Gilmore, and he did not provide any contact information for the village. And I do not believe anyone was invited to attend.
So this is what we paid 159.
Yeah, 160, 161. They are looking to replace 5 playgrounds in the village.
This is actually a request from the legislator to direct money to the village of Hampton to replace their playground.
Correct.
We got nothing, and Want to comment on it? Nope. All right, then we'll go to environment plan.
My name is Mark Roundtree. I'm with Erie County Department of Planning. The two projects we're going to feature today hopefully will increase the tax revenue experience and the employment experience of Erie County. Tough crowd.
It's late in the meeting.
Yeah,
and all
I
this
figure.
timing stuff.
You could go to the next slide. So, the first project is the agribusiness park. So this seeks to convert a 240-acre former airport into an industrial park dedicated to agricultural-based businesses. So it'll also create another shovel-ready site for business attraction and retention in Erie County. In supporting the agricultural economy, it'll create an additional market for agricultural products and also provide some companies that would provide infrastructure like cold storage, distribution to expand the reach of our agricultural producers. Next slide. So just to bring everyone up to speed, this project's been around for a number of years. So in the last year, we've made quite a bit of progress. We've completed seeker and the permitting. The water tower has been constructed with 500,000 gallons reserved for the ag park. We've also constructed the water line. We're currently in the process of constructing the phase 1 access road with utilities. And the big news, we were awarded $11.5 million from New York State, past New York. Next slide. So today's ask is for $400,000. This is towards the match for that $11.5 million award. So this would fund phase 2 road and utility design, and also improvements to Big Sister DSM sewer plants to provide additional capacity for the companies that locate here. We'll also use the funding for routing natural gas to the site and upgrading electrical service. Next slide. That actually concludes the egg park.
I do have a question on that because the book I have says $600,000 reduction in the amount of grant request. Partly the match request.
So it's 600. That is probably a typo. Sorry.
So
We actually have 400 already, and 600 is the request.
Oh, so that would have been the 400,000 from
Yes.
25
Yes, I got the number.
So
mixed up.
the match is
A total of $1 million.
$1 million match. Yeah. All right. When do we have to have the cash in hand to then take advantage of the grant?
The interesting, if you want to go back to the projects, just one slide. So a lot of these projects are somewhat independent of, so once we get started, we can move right into DSM improvements. So I guess the sooner the better. As far as, so we're not under contract yet with the state. That's in process, but we're hoping the next month or so we'll be under contract.
Do we have to have the funds secured and allocated?
We'll have it
just identified.
We have it identified right now, and through that we submitted a capital request. When we actually get to doing the projects, we'll have to have a percentage match.
Okay, so we don't need it for now because we're looking at doing this in 26 anyway, right?
It would be 26, yeah.
When I say now, I mean
yes,
not August or September, January.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll, I guess in the interim time, once we're under contract with the state, we'll start the RFPs to get, particularly the road, phase 2 road underway.
And the county is just responsible for the infrastructure, like the businesses that attract would be builder buildings.
Yes, so we would sell it off similar to what we've been doing with our RCP, where we would sell off parcels based on employment and tax revenue.
Any other questions from the committee on this? Hearing none, next one.
So the second project is the ongoing redevelopment of the former Bethlehem Steel site in Lackawanna. Slide. So, so in the last year, there we go. In the last year, we've made quite a bit of progress as well. We've constructed water and sewer to provide updated infrastructure. The water and sewer is there, and we finished design of extension of Ridge Road and extension Steelworkers Way in the site to really provide vehicular and utility access for that northern part of the site. We've also selected a developer, Bertucci Development, out of Lackawanna, Pennsylvania, for proposing a light manufacturing facility on parcel 2 and 3. And we're also currently in design on relocating the railroad to the western part of the site. Going to the next slide. So this is the specific request that we're asking for $2.5 million. Next slide.
Excuse me, does this include the road reconstructions, the 2.5 million, or is it just railroad?
Just railroad.
How much money did we receive from Senator Kennedy, Congressman Kennedy, that I thought was allocated for that site?
For the railroad?
Yeah.
I believe it was I have my spreadsheet, 4.75.
So I thought we had enough money to move forward with everything, including the rail.
Yeah.
Right now we're doing design movement, right?
Yes, we're designing, moving the railroad right now. It's for the construction.
Can I get a more extensive breakdown of the costs associated with the railroad?
Yeah.
Movement of it, or taking out the old line, putting in the new. For some reason, I thought we had sufficient funds to do all that.
Yeah, so
I was under the impression that the Kennedy money and what was approved before that.
I believe that money goes to the ILDC.
yes, everything's routed through the ILDC. So
So we don't physically have.
Well, we may not have it, but I thought as a group, we had the funds secured for the movement of the railroad. And I was under the impression the next phase would be the extension of the roads and the infrastructure for the roads.
yeah, so we have the funding from past year's capital projects to do the roads, extension of Ridge and Odell, or Steelworkers Way, into the site. That was bid unsuccessfully. We didn't get any bidders, but we're going to be rebidding it in about a month. So there's a $2.5 million contract with the IDA to fund that. For the rail, we currently have a Fast New York grant of $4.75 million and another grant, it's Empire State Development for 1.75. So we have 6.5 secured currently.
That rail's not the siding rail, that's actually gonna be active rail for kind of site.
It's a rail yard, so it's storage and transloading.
This is moving it away from Route 5 so we can redevelop property along Route 5.
Yeah,
Put the rail line back in the back of the property.
You can go to the next
Yeah,
slide.
I understand it. I just, for some reason, I thought we had secured sufficient funding through the various
Yes,
sources.
I think the estimates are way higher than we originally thought because of slag piles that had to be excavated.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's looking at a range of 12.5, 2.5, to the more.
yes. So this is a rendering of the Poco yard, which would include the relocated line from the Y yard, which is the one adjacent to Route 5. So you can see the approximate ground level. This is what's driving up our costs. So rail needs to be generally level. So in order to do this, we need to relocate those piles, which is quite significant. As you can see, that's a truck and a train. So that's what's driving up the cost of the railroad project.
Okay. And this request would fulfill all the remaining dollars that are necessary to complete that portion of it?
Yes. Yeah, we just had a meeting. We're exploring some cost reduction with TMSA, and we feel confident that this is what it's going to cost.
Okay, any other questions? If not, thank you. So, for the record, are there any members of the public here in person or on the video conference who would like to make any comments?
There's no public members on the WebEx.
Okay. Not appear to have anybody in the room who would like to comment. Therefore, the next meeting will be held on August 14th, 2 weeks, where we will discuss and vote on the final 2026 capital programs proposed for the committee. Any other comments or questions from members of the committee? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We have a motion from Over Hardwick, we have a second from Cordelia Mills. All in favor, signify by stating aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Thanks, everyone.